Hi guys, I just wanted to give a small disclaimer before you actually start watching this video. So in this video, I do kind of talk about death and creepy things and spookier things. And so for those of you who don't like to hear those things or are a trigger for any apparent reason, I would not watch this video. I mean no offense to anybody or any spirit or anything. I just wanted to talk about some experiences that I've had recently. Also, you will hear my air conditioner and movement outside because I live in an apartment building. People live around me and people I think are actually moving out or moving in. So yeah, just wanted to give you a short little disclaimer and I hope that you enjoy this video. So yeah, I'm Kat and welcome back to my channel. Please excuse the air conditioner sound. It's actually really warm today, so I turned it on. Also, the garbage back there, I haven't had a chance to take the garbage out, mostly because I've been lazy. But today I decided I kind of wanted to get back to my creepier, spookier roots, because when I first started this channel, most of what I did was like spookier, like ghost stories and things like that, and then I kind of veered off from there. Most of that was because in the place that I was living, I didn't like talking about spooky things or paranormal things. I didn't even like watching TV shows about paranormal things that often, because I'm sure that a lot of people who experience paranormal things understand that like when you talk a lot about the things that are happening to you, it kind of makes it happen more and kicks it up, and I didn't want to do it there. But now that we're here in my new apartment and all of my energy and everything is here, I feel more comfortable talking about it. I did think about it for a couple of days if I actually wanted to talk about it today, because I really wanted to think about if that was something that I wanted to do, and it is. So today we are going to talk about some of the creepy, spooky, paranormal things that have been happening to me, mostly in the past, but some a little bit more recent. And yeah, so that's what we're doing today. I actually have makeup on. My lips look so dry. I actually have makeup on so I don't look as tired and broke up like I typically do whenever I've been making a video lately. And it's actually a really beautiful day. I'm gonna go to the storage area with my parents to see if I can find more furniture, because all my furniture is in my room back there. And then I have no furniture up here, which is why it's still echoey in here. But anyway, let's get started. So back in the condo, the apartment that I lived in before, there were a few deaths there, I think a couple of deaths there, but there was a more recent death there, actually a few months, or either a month or so before I actually moved in there last year. And so what's interesting is before that happened and staying in the condo, I had slight experiences whenever I would spend the night there, but it was never anything too like extraordinary to the point where I was like uncomfortable. It actually started to happen more after the death occurred. So basically, the condo was kind of like your basic condo. You had 3 levels. You had the top level, the middle level, and then the basement. My boyfriend's room was in the basement, and then I would hang out in the living room area. We would rarely go upstairs for obvious reasons. I would go upstairs more than he would, and that's where I would make some of my videos and stuff like that. I stopped making videos up there because activity started to pop up, so I stopped doing that, which made it so I kind of stopped making videos for a while. But I started to get uncomfortable there to where I wouldn't go upstairs. A lot of it was because I would hear movement upstairs. It would sound like someone was walking around up there and moving stuff around. And I was convinced either it was some kind of maybe spiritual entity or it was a person living in our attic, because the amount of moving was like it was a person upstairs. And you had the bathroom and then a bedroom, and then across from that bedroom you had an office. And since it was in the middle of winter, we would close all the doors because air would come in and I would get cold really easily. And so we closed all the doors up there, and that office was the office that I would make some of my videos in. And we close it so the air couldn't come in, and there were a few times that I would go upstairs to use that bathroom and that door would be open and no one had gone upstairs. There was one point where I think my boyfriend and I were going to the movies or going somewhere, and while we went out, we were in the car, we noticed the light upstairs was on in that office. And I distinctly remember going up there a few hours before we left to use the bathroom, and the light wasn't on and the door was closed. So, you know, of course, we were both freaked out, but we wanted to go do whatever we were doing. And so I told him when we came back to the house, I would turn off the light and close the door. And when I went up there, lo and behold, the door is wide open and the light is on. For a minute, I had to think about, like, maybe I had gone up there and I didn't turn it on, and I turned it on and I forgot, or maybe he did. But I remember distinctly going up there to use the bathroom and seeing the door closed and not seeing the light on, like, under the door. And that would happen a lot. I would hear that the cat would go upstairs because he liked to go up there, which there was a little of comfort with that because I don't think he would have gone up there if there was something else up there. But he's such a chill dude, so it's hard to tell. But the cat would go up there and I'd hear him jumping around and moving around as if he was in one of the rooms, and I'd go up there and the door would be open and he would be in the office, and I would remember myself closing that door or it being closed when I'd go up there to go to the bathroom. And there would be times where I would be going to the bathroom and the door would be closed and it would sound like I would hear movement up there. Which of course, it's like when you live in a condo, there are people living next to you, so there was always that chance that of course it would be someone in the other apartments, in the other condos, like moving around. But this kind of movement was enough to where one night it was loud enough and it sounded like it was in the condo to the point where it woke me and my boyfriend up, and my boyfriend actually got up to go make sure there was no one in the house. So it would happen a lot, and it would like move, like it would be really bad where it would happen a lot and then it would be really just timid. It actually slowed down after my boyfriend and I went to a place called As Above, So Below, where it's kind of a alternative, I don't like saying witchy place, but it is, I guess pagan or Wicca. And the ladies there were telling me that I'm very open to everything and my energy is very open and it's so unbalanced that people and things beyond that are feeding off of it, and that I need to learn how to close it off, which I used to be very good at closing my energy off from everything and not letting anything feed off of me. And then when everything started to happen with my thyroid and a bunch of other stuff started happening in my personal life, it kind of became really hard to do that. And when I kind of knew that that was happening and I started to really kind of learn how to close that off, it kind of calmed down for me. It started to calm down for a while, especially when some of the stuff in my personal life started to stop and calm down after that. But there was a lot of reason I didn't want to talk about it in the condo, because whenever I talked about it or thought about it or brought it up, it would happen more. So I just kind of avoided it. There are times where I'm there, like I'm really uncomfortable to be there by myself, and a lot of that is because the energy there to me is so off balance and weird that it's just really uncomfortable. And I know that's the off balances of me and my boyfriend's energy and our energy together sometimes, but I know there's something else going on there. And so when my boyfriend was in Florida for about a week, I stayed there by myself for a few days, and it was weird. A lot of it was weird was because it's weird here being alone, but this is my apartment. I'm supposed to be alone, so I know that I'm the only one that's supposed to be in this apartment. So when you are used to being somewhere else where you used to live there with someone, and usually there's that person there, when they're not there, it's a little weird. But it also just kind of felt strange. And I know that I'm not the only one that feels that way, because I know that my boyfriend has heard things and felt that way too. So it's nice to know that, like, to have confirmation so I'm not too crazy, which I know that I'm crazy, but at least it's a little bit less. The second occurrence that has been happening, actually more like this has been a constant thing recently that is kind of new for me, but not something that has been extremely unsettling. I don't know when it started to happen, but I know where it started to happen. So I've talked about my work and how I've had experiences there, and I've seen things there and heard things there, and we all have, and how it's haunted. And so I don't remember when this started. I think this started when stuff was happening in my personal life that wasn't really good, and I was kind of looking for apartments and stuff like that. I would be alone in the store or just walking around, or someone would be on break, and I would see something out of the corner of my eye. And for a long time, it wasn't something that I could kind of focus on, but I knew that I could see something out of the corner of my eye. There were times where it was like, well, maybe I'm seeing the reflection of something, maybe I'm seeing just something behind me, that like a product, or it's actually a person. And then after a while, I actually started to really notice what it was. It's kind of like when you see something out of the corner of your eye and it's more far away, so you can't exactly see what it is, but you know it's there. I started to see it more clearly, and I started to notice that it looked like the figure of a gentleman, either wearing black or just a black shadow, I guess. I started seeing it out of the corner of my eye often. And there were times where I would genuinely think that, oh, someone came into the store, someone's behind me, so I'd look and there would be nobody there. And so that started happening at work a lot. I would, there's times where I'm talking to the girls and I'll see it, and that's a lot of the reason why I'll look behind me, or I'll look around, because I'll actually think there's someone in the store when there's not, because I'm seeing this figure. So it only used to happen at work, and then I started seeing it other places. I would see it at the condo occasionally, and then I would see it walking around regular life. I'd be walking down the street coming home from work, and I'd see it out of the corner of my eye, which is kind of scary because I live somewhere that is interesting enough, and I live in Ogden, and so it sometimes people are weird at night, and so I would always think that I saw someone behind me, but when I'd look there would be nobody there and I'd be by myself. Luckily I haven't seen it here at all, and I hope that continues, because whatever it is, I won't stand for that shit, because this is my space and I'm not okay with it. So that's just something that I need everything to know. This is my space and I will not stand for that shit. And luckily this building is relatively new. So, but that's probably why I have let me grab it real quick. But that's probably why I have this candle. It's supposed to be a ritual candle, but come on. Are you gonna focus, or are you gonna be a pain in my ass? Cut myself off. So this, you can't really see it because everything that I use sucks, but this is a lavender ritual candle, and it's supposed to promote, or when you burn it, it's supposed to have purification, peace, sleep, happiness, and longevity. So I burn this occasionally to kind of keep everything copacetic. I got a spray that I'm supposed to spray around the house every other week to kind of keep everything also copacetic. So that's what I do here, but I haven't seen it here, but I do see it in my normal life, still at the condo when I'm there, and mostly at work. So that's where I think it kind of started, and whatever it could be started, I don't want to say attaching itself to me, but I started seeing it. And I know I'm not the only one that has seen the dark figure before. I just seem to be the only one that has noticed it the most. And that could be partly why I'm seeing it more than everyone else, is because I acknowledge the fact that I see it. And so sometimes I'll feel movement around me, or I'll hear it, and then I'll look out of the corner of my eye, or I'll just see something out of the corner of my eye, and lo and behold, it's the figure. But the thing is I'm very big on feeling and emotion and energy, and whenever I see this figure, I don't feel anything scary or bad or negative. It's just oh my gosh, that's there, and of course it makes me nervous because it's there, and then when I look, it's not there. But when I do see it, I don't get this feeling of unease to the point where I don't want to be where it's at, so that kind of gives me some hope, is that I'm very big on feeling. and believing, and it's all about feeling and belief. And I do think that whatever he could be, I don't think that I'm in harm's way, and I hope it stays that way, because I know things like this can change on a dime. But it has been an occurrence, happening occasionally. It doesn't happen every day. It doesn't happen all the time. I don't see it all of the time, but I do see it occasionally when I'm at work, especially when I get aggravated or I'm sad or tired, I'll see it. Or if something weird happens in the store, like a weird person comes in and I'm on edge, then I'll see him out of the corner of my eye. So it could be something else. It could just me, my logical side tells me it could be a visualization of maybe my aggravation or me being tired. But another part of me, I can feel this energy around me. My energy can feel its energy, so I know it's there, which when I say it out loud, it sounds absolutely weird. But, you know, I know people will get it when they hear it. But that's the thing that has been a constant currently. And that hasn't happened to me in a very long time. That happened to me once when I was younger. I believe it was what I think was a child. I remember it being a child a long time ago, because I know that me and my sister and my cousins have always had experiences and always have been followed around before. So I know I remember having an experience very similar when I was younger. And then it stopped for a while, and I think a lot of that was because I developed this ability to be able to close myself off and to be able to like protect myself spiritually. And now that I'm having a harder time doing that now, maybe that could be why, or I don't know. I don't know, maybe I invited it on accident somehow, but it hasn't happened to me in a very, very long time. So it's unsettling in that right, but it's not anything that I'm too worried about yet. But you know, it is what it is. And I think sometimes spirits get lonely, and I think that they attach to the person that might give them comfort or might feel like they have company, because it has to be really lonely if you're a spirit and you're by yourself and you're here, whether you be stuck or something else for some reason. It has to be really lonely to go from, you know, being a human being and having companionship to being dead and not really having that companionship in the same way. So it has to be really lonely. And so it's really sad to me. And I think that could be why sometimes spirits do connect to people. I know that there are negative reasons why spirits will connect to people sometimes, or sometimes they don't realize they're doing it negatively. But I know it has to be something else. I don't think it's always a negative experience when something connects to you. So, but that's just how I feel, and that's the way I choose to see it. Alrighty, there you go. Those are some of my kind of recent and not so recent spooky or paranormal-ish experiences. I've been wanting to talk about them for such a long time, but I have such a fear of talking about it that I just haven't. And I'm actually feeling that fear right now. So where's my lighter? I am going to light my ritual candle. I also have a strange obsessions with candles, and they make me feel safe anyway, regardless of what kind of candle this is. But this brings me comfort, also because it's lavender and it's really freaking relaxing. I'm going to light it just to kind of put my mind at ease. But it does make me nervous talking about it, because there have been several occurrences in my life where I'll talk about experiences that I've had, and then it kind of kicks up and happens more. But as I said, I don't want it happening here. I will not stand for that shit. Not here, not in my space. Absolutely not. I know it's harder to do that in spaces that are more public that aren't my space, but here it is my space, and I will not stand for it. But yeah, so those are some of the experiences I've had. And I really want to get back to my spookier roots, because I was doing a lot of videos that were more on the spooky side that I really loved and had a lot of fun, and for some of it I had to do research and really think about it. And so I want to get back into doing that, and to doing conspiracy theory videos of things like the one I did for Willy Wonka or Hello Kitty, and I want to start talking about interesting, like, I have a weird obsession with, like, murderers and horrible things like that, horrible massacres and stuff like that, because the human mind is so bananas and it's so crazy and so fascinating, and I love stuff like that, and I love talking about paranormal stuff and talking to other people about it, and I would love to talk to my friends and family members about stuff like this. So I want to get back to that and get back to the spookier side of things. I do like doing like hauls, and I do like I don't really know what I do. I do like talking and bullshitting around and sometimes doing hauls and stuff like that, but I also really just like being part of the spooky community on this channel, on this platform, and to just kind of, I'm a spooky person. I'm very spooky, I'm very creepy, and I like being that. Like, I'm wearing a Freddy versus Jason t-shirt. Like, it's just like, I like creepy things. I like spooky things. I have dark humor, and I like that, and I want to get back to that. That is my current plan, is to get back to that. But yeah, so I am actually going to clean up a little bit. I finally brought my clothes from the condo, and I need to go through them and actually put them away. There's actually clothes in my hamper that aren't dirty. I just didn't feel like folding them after I washed them, you know. But I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go to the storage with my dad, possibly to the store to get a fan, because it's not really that hot in here, but I need the white noise to help me sleep. And yeah, so that's my life currently. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you've had any spooky experiences, I would love to hear about them, and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't really know how to end this, so thank you for joining me in this video. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you want to subscribe to this channel for some reason, go ahead and do that. And if you want to hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I post, because I don't really have a set schedule, so if you want to do that, you can do that. If you don't, you don't have to, it's fine. But I don't know. I really do want to start trying to make more videos, especially since I have my own space. I'd really like to do that. But yeah, and I hope you have a wonderful day and a beautiful night, and I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you are as well. And this is Kat signing off. Bye.